What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So this weekend is Saturday night's main event, and you know what we gotta do our predictions for that show. But before we do that, guys, I just want to say this really quick, okay? Given the card, the matches, the titles on the line, the potential storylines that can come out of the result of these matches, this is going to be the best Saturday night's main event we've gotten so far in this era. Now, I know the bar is very low to a lot of you guys. I get it. I understand why. But this show is going to be the best one. Now, it could have been one of the better PLEs if it was a normal PLE. But the problem is the commercials. The commercials. It feels like this every single time. And I'm going to get this out of my system, okay? It feels like the entire show is a commercial. And then the rest of the matches are the commercials, because they chop those matches up so bad. It's like, oh my God, CM Punk hits him with a punch, and then Jey Uso hits him with a spear. It's a spear, and then oh my God, the Uso splash. 1, 2. It does that every single time, and it chops up the matches, and it kills the momentum sometimes, and it's sad because you look in between the commercials, you're like, bro, there are pieces of a really good show here, but the commercials kill the momentum. But I get it. I understand why it has to happen, but it is like, come on, man, you could have did something else. But anyway, let's just get into predictions. Let's get out of complaining, and we're gonna start off with the ladies first, in Jade Cargill facing Tiffany Stratton, our current champion, for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, this match right here is a lot more important than people give it credit for, or people just overlook the fact that this is very important, because however way this match ends up, it can really change how the women's division look on SmackDown, and I think they desperately need that on SmackDown. In fact, this can change things to do with maybe the entire division and maybe WWE in itself, possibly, right? If it's booked properly, right? Maybe saying WWE as a whole is super high assumption, but overall, it can change at least how the women's division is over there and just how it is on the blue brand. And I definitely think that Jade Cargill needs to walk out as the champion. You gave her a brand new character, this dominating, amazing looking heel, my favorite part of SmackDown, one of the most exciting things I've seen in the past month on WWE. I thought that was great. But you can't give her this new heel character, and then her first match, she ends up losing. They actually should pull the trigger on Jade Cargill winning the title here, and then that changes everything in the women's division, because now you give babyface's opportunity to get built up off of Jade Cargill as this new dominant character, and it's something fresh that we hasn't seen as of lately. And I think this will be a smart decision. You got to do it Saturday, bro. I mean, because if Tiffany retains, what else is she gonna do? She already beat Jade. She already beat Nia Jax 5 million times. There's no one left for her to face on the SmackDown division unless there is a free agent or someone on NXT that's going to get called up that we don't know about. But I think a lot of people are already pretty burnt out on the Tiffany Stratton as champion, you know, experiment right at this point in time. But anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we have a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between our current champion, Dirty Dom, Penta, and Rusev. Now, I think this match is going to be a whole lot of fun, but we already know how these things turn out, okay? If you have a member that's a part of a bigger faction, and they have an opportunity to get involved, especially in a match with no disqualifications, we already know the shenanigans are going to shenanigans. So someone's going to come in there to help Dominic Mysterio. That's probably going to be JD and Finn Balor. But I honestly think what's going to happen is you're going to see Finn and JD look like they're going to get in the ring to help Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor say, hold on, big head, relax for a second. We're not going to help this guy, because remember what he did to our tag team titles? Finn Balor is still bitter about that based on what we saw backstage on Raw, and Finn Balor is petty. But that does not mean that Dominic Mysterio will not get his help. We're going to see El Grande Americano and his goons, as I like to call them, the trans-Mexicans, come out there and help Dominic Mysterio retain the title. And you can see, well, I can see that there's going to be some fight between the both sides, you know, from Grande Americano and his people versus JD and Finn Balor. And that's just going to further the tension between Finn and Dominic Mysterio, because now it's like, bro, I don't like your new friend. What is he doing involved in this? You also cost us our tag team titles. So it's going to further it to build up into the inevitable Dom versus Finn Balor match in the future. So Dom is going to retain here. So the next match we have on the card, I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, I think they're going to try to outdo what happened at WrestlePalooza, okay? Which, you know, I think they absolutely will, but I think the result is absolutely going to be the same. But I think the difference here is they can do something a lot more interesting as opposed to the same angle they did last time, and they should not have Drew McIntyre lose clean in this match. What they should do is when the referee is not looking or the referee is knocked down, they can have Drew grab the title and try to hit Cody with the title like Cody did last time, so Drew feels justified, and then have Randy Orton come out there to stop Drew from doing it. Grab the title out of his hand, Cody Rhodes hits him with a crossroads, rolls him in the ring, gets the pin, but you can see Randy Orton outside looking at the title like, yeah, this looks nice in my hand. I like this. Like, he has that mode once again, but what's this going to do is to make it look like Drew McIntyre is really guilty as far as attacking Jacob Fatu, and by Randy Orton saving Cody in that moment, that's going to be his alibi to say, hey, you know what? I wouldn't do something that bad. I saved you to retain your title, so why would I do something like this to you? And this could further a storyline post Survivor Series, which I think that Drew versus Cody 3 should happen in Survivor Series, and that is where Drew should win that title. And I want to talk about that whole thing right now, but I don't want to turn this video into 30 minutes. I'll do this in a different video on my YouTube channel. But as I said, Cody Rhodes will retain the title. The next match on the card, we have the main event in the main event at main event. Jey Uso versus CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Now, there's two ways they can go with this. They can go the really interesting route, or they can go the overly simplified route, which I will be perfectly fine with if they do it this way. But let's talk about the interesting route first, right? First, probably attack CM Punk at the end of it, solidifying that this is heel Jey Uso, because we have not seen him as a heel as the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I know a lot of fans would not like it. They disliked all his videos, which is perfect. If you got a heel and you got organic hate from the fans, cool, utilize that, use that as a weapon, and then Roman Reigns could try to help Jey Uso to be a dominant heel. Like, okay, well, you got the championship, this is what we do, this is how we do it, you seen how I did it, I'm gonna give you advice, all these other things. Then Jimmy Uso can come in once again, hey, I don't like this, I don't look like what this is gonna become, and Roman could just look at him and like, hey bro, let me ask you two questions. When's the last time you had a title, a singles title? Oh, never. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. When's the last time you had a world title? Oh, never? Okay, that's what I thought. So, if you never had a title, how are you going to try to tell him how to be a champion? I've had it, and he wants what I had, and he's going to do more than me, and the only way he can do that is to listen to someone who's been there. You've never been there. So what you got to say have absolutely nothing to do with anything that's going on here. And as time goes on, Roman can teach Jey Uso to be the way that he used to be, and Jey can become this monster that's out of control to the point where he rebels against Roman Reigns. And this same Jey Uso that we got before, remember when he was in the bloodline? I don't care what the tribal chief says. He can start rebelling against Roman to the point where Roman is like, I created a monster. Look what I did. And Jimmy could be like, bro, see, look, I told you he was going to end up like this. I tried to tell you. And then Roman can eventually have a match between him and Jey Uso down the line. I think that could be a very interesting match between the two of them in a storyline. And when it comes to CM Punk, since Elimination Chamber is going to be in Chicago, just have him win the Chamber in Chicago, go to WrestleMania and win that championship. That I think that's easy. But if you want to go the overly simplified route, you can have CM Punk win the title. Jey Uso attacks CM Punk after the match is over. He solidified his heel turn. Then they can still do the whole thing with Jimmy, Roman, and Jey, where Roman's like, okay, well, you did what you have to do, but you got to show people that, you know, you're not taking losses like that. You got to be dominant. You got that aggression. That's what has been missing. Jimmy Uso's like, I don't like this. He looks like you. And then they can still do that whole storyline. But at the end of the day, I think what they're going to do is they're going to have CM Punk win that World Heavyweight Championship. I think it'll be interesting to go the other way, but I think they're gonna have CM Punk win. But at the end of the day, let me know in the comment section, what is the match you're looking forward to? What do you think this show is gonna be like? What is your predictions for this show? Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute, peace, have a great day.